Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 383rd episode of the GeekVerse podcast. A little promptu, happy holiday Easter. Nice to see you again, Jesus. I am the Clown Prince of Podcast, Trash Snail, and I'm joined by another member of the squad gang, Boozum Buddies.
Boo? Is that what you just said? Booze?
Boozum Buddies. Boozum Buddies.
All right. I'm the boo, Kirklin Patzer.
I'm the buddy, Taylor Field.
I'm the one who's not in on this joke, Jessica.
I didn't mean to do this joke at all. I
Definitely was
just
not
went
like
with
it. Yeah, wasn't anything.
I'm just hopped up on sugar. Did the first Easter egg hunt today, so that was good. Just tons of candy, tons of chocolate. Had some scallop barbecue. That was really good. Like scallops on the barbecue. Oh, can't beat it. There's just something great about scallops, like the texture of them. Like when you bite into them, they're just juicy and there's just
gotta wrap them in bacon.
Oh yeah, those are deadly.
They were wrapped in onion and paneer for me.
What's paneer?
Not bacon.
Well, no, of course that's meat. You guys have never had paneer?
Maybe. What is it? Describe it for me.
Describe it. It's a type of like squeaky cheese.
Squeaky cheese. Like squeaks when you bite it.
It's not poutine.
It's like poutine cheese.
It's what
cheese
people
curds.
kind of. It's like what? Yeah, here we go again. But it's like what do people put in butter chicken? That's not the chicken. It's like a substance for that. It's
not
good.
Familiar.
One time, get it and try it. You won't regret it.
Okay. I'll hold you to that.
There we go. Yes,
Aren't
Chris
you,
is good. Oh, go ahead.
Just lactose intolerant. You're gonna go out and buy cheese just because Travis told you to. Is that
I never
worth
said
it?
I would
really?
go buy it. I never said I'd go buy it. I said I'd try it. It's always
Maybe
worth it. I have a bidet now. I don't fear anything like that.
Oh my goodness! Maybe
Nice
next
cool water
Christmas
on my
party.
derriere. Yeah.
Maybe next Christmas party. Oh my gosh!
But then I gotta rush home, unless you buy a bidet or whoever.
Or we'll have
hosts
the Christmas party at your house.
Yeah. Maybe. I can't let anyone know where I live. I'm in an undisclosed bunker somewhere.
Chris, you don't know what paneer is either? Why am I alone on this rock? I don't like being alone here. It's a really good rock to be on, I'm telling you. But yeah, I guess I'm alone. So yeah, this is impromptu newscast. Usually we do cast in the middle of the week, but there's just something in the air. I knew when we got the Spiral trailer last week on like Thursday, it's like, oh, we're gonna get a bunch of news, aren't we? And then we just got trailer after trailer after trailer. So Taylor, where can they find us on their interwebs before we start talking about some of this stuff?
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find us with your internet connection. GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerseCast is our Twitter, and GeekVerse is our Facebook. Be sure to check out our Facebook because we have our fan base community poll that is popping off right now. And let me tell you, folks, it is crazy. It is the final round. It is the championship round. We're deciding who's going to win. It's between Godzilla from 2019 versus King Kong from Peter Jackson's 2005 film. And I'm not going to spoil who's in the lead right now. You can go look at our social media for that.
It can always change.
It can always change. I was a little alarmed when the fans were turning on me for my little surprise thing, but all I needed was one person to advocate for me, and that happened. So it didn't escalate, and we've moved past it. So
all I need is one person, like a true politician. All I need is one person to advocate, and you're like, yeah, that's fine.
Is that how politicians work?
It's just what you sound like. You're like, oh, all I need was one person to advocate for me, and I'm fine.
Oh, I see. I'm going to pass the torch over to Kirklin because we got some fun stuff going on tomorrow, don't we?
Give the date just in case people are listening to us at weird times.
April 4th? Yes, April 4th. April 4th, Sunday. Left 4 Dead 2. We're going to be streaming that. Me, Taylor, I think Dylan, and I think Jessica. But no matter what, it'll be me and Taylor. So that's a guarantee. Jessica, are you joining?
I'm going to try. There's no guarantee.
All right, I'll take that. Like I said, no matter what, it'll be me and Taylor. I think Dylan said he would join for sure, but I think that'll be a fun one. Get as many people as we can on that stream. I wonder if we could play, if we ever wanted to, do a 5-man, because you can do like one person as the zombie, can't you? Or like...
You can't. I mean, last I checked, I'm pretty sure you could. Something like that.
Yeah. That could be fun if we wanted to get more than 4 people in there. But anyways, it'll be fun. And come join us. 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
You just read that off the bottom.
Yep.
Yeah,
Not
it's
bad.
like I got
had
a
to help him
teleprompter.
out.
It's nice. Yeah,
Got the teleprompter going.
yeah. If you say anything, I'll say it. You know, like Anchorman.
Mhm,
You,
yeah.
San Diego.
Yeah.
Joining gaming,
Everything's been
stuff like that.
canceled.
Join video game playing. There might be some fun news on that in the future because there will be a real announcement coming out within the week as far as some programming notes for GeekVerse. Nothing bad, just good, just new stuff, new Patreon exclusive. So yes, the OnlyFans thing was a joke, but I'm not telling some people because I like to. Some people think like, oh, what's going on here? But so you can go check out our fake announcement for that. What else is going on? We dropped a Falcon Winter Soldier review. We dropped Godzilla versus King Kong, which Chris is in the chat. I'm not sure if he's still there, but he messaged me after listening to our review and he said, "So Jessica didn't like the movie, huh?" And I said, "Yeah, just a tad. But you can check out that. That was lots of fun. I actually re-listened to that at my 2:30 a.m. shift because I needed a good chuckle, and it was a good time. So,
Hey, just shout out because this is Maddie in the chat who was one of the few people that agreed with me, if I'm not mistaken. So thank you.
Yep. People are seeming to liking the monkey movie. I do like the new memes that like Kong's just an idiot now, but and I gotta love this. Why I go watch the YouTube version because this is the first time Taylor's responded to somebody that not just said Chris, Maddie. He's just using. Did you say whatever their names are? He just says it like a fucking frat boy. I was looking at reviews of GeekVerse and I went down because Pod they have this new update go all the way down. I remember someone gave us a 1-star for me sound like a frat guy. I just remember that like sound like he stumbled out of a 3 a.m. party. So good times. But just go down the links below and you can find everything where we are on video and audio. You can find the Patreon feeds that have our early exclusive ad-free episodes. Next week we will be recording our Mortal Kombat commentary 2-track trailer, or not trailer, just commentary track, blah. And it's gonna be fun. The first one was tons of fun, so I can't wait. The movie got delayed a couple weeks, but we're still gonna be reviewing that. Head over to Apple Podcast specifically and give us a nice 5-star written review. That would help us a lot if you can't support us on Patreon, because yes, it's giving us money, you get lots of goodies, but if you can't, that's a 30-second free way to really help us out. Check out our podcast network, which is 7 days a week, 9 shows, tons of stuff popping out there. They got a really good week planned out, and I think that is everything. Game streams galore, all this stuff. So I think that is everything. Are we ready to talk about some trailers? Because we got quite a bit for a nice Easter long weekend. Your guys' long weekend going good so far?
Hell yes.
Hell yes. Do you guys all have 4 days off or 3 days? What's your schedule, guys? I only have the 2 because I chose to work the 2. Everyone's 4 days. Oh, 3 for Taylor. Oh,
I don't like working having 4 days off in a row.
I don't like working 4 days.
Overrated.
That's such a bullshit thing.
It's
If
such
they
an old
paid you
man.
for-
Yeah.
I don't know. I still get paid that as if I was working,
Yeah,
so I'm
same.
okay with it.
Yeah, that's nice. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna talk about some trailers, and let's talk about the one we just got today. It's not the Black Widow. That's Suicide Squad. The Black Widow. This is the new trailer because everyone was like, "Oh, why are we getting?" Some people are like, "Why are we getting a new trailer? We've had so many." Well, it's because I'm sure the general audience has no fucking idea this movie's coming out in July, so they gotta start that train going. They have to get it pumping, get on the tracks, and here we are. On July 9th, this was the official. I don't think there's any turning back now with it being on Disney Plus. So it's Disney Plus, like we talked about a few weeks ago, premiere access that day. Or if your theater's open, you can go see that. Kirklin Patzer, what did you think of this trailer? Because yes, I think we've seen 2 trailers in the past, but obviously that was a while back. This movie was supposed to come out originally May 2020, so it's a long time. But what do you think about this trailer as far as our hopefully final trailer before the big date?
Yeah, it's really weird to just the amount of trailers I've seen already on this, and like the span of time on which I've seen these trailers. This one, it felt like if when I was watching it, I'm like, I recognize this, but they like chose some like scenes from like the previous trailer and just like did some different things with it, whether they had like different music or kind of like put it in a different spot of the trailer. So it was kind of funny to be in like something would happen and be like, oh, this is new, and then it would go like, oh, okay, I've seen this already, and then this is just such a weird movie for me. For like, felt like I don't know. I just didn't think I was
Like
ever going to see
watching the
this.
Justice League trailers.
You
Yeah,
didn't think you're
like-
ever gonna see this? What do you think they're gonna delay it for like 10 years?
I mean, when it's just been so long, I just kind of forget about it, and then it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I will see this, but it'll just like go into my subconscious. So like, yeah, like I'm just not really thinking about it. But then, anyways, overall, I did like the trailer. I like the new stuff that they showed. That was Taskmaster, right?
Task matter.
Taskmaster. Anyways, he looked dope.
Taskmaster.
The TM.
Yeah, trademark. That was that villain in question. Yes.
I thought he looked absolutely badass. I'm really excited to see him, and overall, yeah, I'm excited for it. It's nice to have a solid date, I think. Don't know how many times I've said that, but
Does this, like, because you were saying like it was reminded you see some things, do you feel like before you got this trailer, as far as your level of excitement, did it go up at all, or did it stay the same from like a few days ago, or I guess even a few weeks ago when we got, hey, July 9th, this is coming? Did this sway it anywhere? Or are you kind of the same place where you were?
I'd say my hype went up. Just because like when it kept getting delayed, I'm just like, I felt like the significance of that movie was just getting lesser and lesser for me, because it's like, okay, this person is already dead, and I felt like, seeing her
You're
just
pulling
after.
that card, eh?
Well, I was gonna say, like, if it would have came out shortly after Endgame, I still have that like memory so like fresh in my mind of like seeing her death. So I would have been like a lot more emotionally invested in this movie, just like kind of like a send off film, even though it is a prequel. However, like seeing this trailer, and I liked all the character moments, so I'm excited to see that finally. And yeah, I'd say overall my hype level did go up there, especially seeing like a little bit more action scenes than we've seen already. It's just like, oh, I'm excited to see Taskmaster. Fuck sakes,
He's trying to redeem
Taskmaster.
himself.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I got this. I'm gonna close out
So confident.
Taskmaster. I'm gonna throw it to Jessica because Kirklin's on a whirlwind. Jessica, you've been like since day one, like even before this movie was an idea. We've talked about this before. Like you were not really that excited for this. Obviously, you might review it because it's with the podcast. You might not be around because you might have a second child running around. But let's say even if you were, did this trailer get you any more excited? Like, you know what, I might give this a shot. Or are you at the same place you've always been with it?
Yeah, I don't care about it. I was watching it and I'm like, she's dead. I have no reason to watch this. There is nothing that is going to come from this to me. So this comes out, it's July 7th now.
Is it
that
7th or 9th? Something like that. I think it's 9th, but who knows?
So for the listeners that, might not know, my C-section is scheduled July 5th. So I am 100%
perfect. You'll be
gonna
ready.
have a baby at this point. So the chances of me watching this, pretty much zero. I mean, if say, obviously I'm gonna get spoiled because there's no way that this movie won't hit the internet. If something comes out,
I heard she doesn't make it out of this one.
Well, she should make it out of this one because she has to die in a different one.
No, but the last scene of this movie is just they cut to the end game scene and she has the clip like that's what happened to Natasha Romanoff, and it's just like sad credits.
So I mean, if there's something that gives pertinent information to some other movie down the line, I'll probably check it out just to be in the loop about it. But I'm not gonna like be sitting in my hospital bed being like, I need Disney Plus.
Do you
What's
have
wrong
an
with your
iPad?
internet? What'd you say, Taylor?
I do have a phone with Disney Plus on it, and I'm not paying $30 to watch this in a hospital. I'm sorry.
Might be a first great movie with a child. Taylor Field,
see this is what you're gonna be like when you're older. You're gonna be a spy.
Wow, that's a really tough lifestyle to push them towards. But
4 days old. 4 days old, first movie.
Taylor Field, where are you on this?
Sorry, just that someone can arrange that comment just threw me off, and you're gonna be a spy. Someone can arrange that. Good comment, Chris. Yeah, where I stand with this movie. I'd say again, I feel like the whole movie has been revealed. I feel like it's all pieced together here through the trailers, but really it's not, because again, we got 2 new scenes in this trailer, and then other than that, it's just been rehash. And I understand people say the trailers got me so excited, but I'm just thinking I haven't forgotten about this movie, and it's the same trailer, just with 40, 50, almost a whole minute of old school cutscenes from other movies. And I get it's showing more of the past and the way. There's 2 new scenes showing, I'm assuming her as a kid. Yeah, I can't confirm that though. It could be some other random kid, but
she had some wild hair going on. And if
she had some crazy wild hair, but anyways, it's fine. So yeah, Like I'm excited for it. Like, yeah, Taskmaster is super cool. I
No, that's not his name.
that's what I'm gonna call him now.
Taskmaster.
I'm calling him Taskmaster now.
He does wear a mask.
What's his skill? He makes masks. No,
Um,
that's it. Yeah, he's good at hiding, though.
But yeah, I mean, I'm glad they put out a trailer to remind people because sure, there's gonna be people out there that like forgot that this movie's coming out. I can't believe like what we get the first trailer like last March now or something like that. Is that when they first dropped the
God.
trailer? Or
you should YouTube search that. Just type in Black Widow trailer and see. You'll probably whichever one. Like you might get a teaser trailer first, but I think it was maybe it could have been even earlier than that.
Yeah, December 3rd, 2019.
Okay, that's tough. So, and that's I think the two things is like they have to remind people, but they also have to tell people about the Disney Plus Premier Access thing as well. They got to get that going because they got to tell people, hey, if we don't want like Godzilla versus Kong. We didn't know until like the day before if this thing was going to be on VOD or not, or like how it's happening with Canada. So at least they're letting you know, hey, if you're Canadian, if you're anywhere else in the world that has Disney Plus, but you don't have a theater open, you can pay the money to watch this. If you're a single person, like Liam's talked about, I get it why he wouldn't do that. Yeah, it's $30. But again, I still think the $30 is not too bad if you are a couple that would want to see it and you're in the theater. That's almost 2 tickets with gas, and it sometimes is 2 tickets. So I think this trailer is just to get people going. You'll get TV spots. I like the trailer. My excitement is kind of the same. I think my excitement is just more so that we're actually going to see it, like it's actually coming out and we shouldn't be moving anymore, and I want to get going. I've always said this, that I'm way more excited for the TV shows than I am the movies right now. Like with this Shang-Chi and the Eternals, I'm excited for them all because I like Marvel stuff. But as far as the shows, like, you know, Falcon Winter Soldier's killing right now. WandaVision was great. Later on in a few months, we get Loki. Like, I all prefer those characters and storylines as of right now. And next year is like She-Hulk, Moon Knight. So it's just kind of the same thing. So I like the trailer. I liked seeing the stuff of them as kids because you had to put something new in this trailer. And I thought that was a good hook. So I feel that seeing her and her sister ripped apart literally at the age of, you know, whatever, 10, 12, whatever it may be, is like, okay, that's a good hook of why we can care about these characters, why they reunited in little flashes. I'm still wondering, like with Taskmaster, I almost fucking did it, you guys. I almost did it. With Taskmaster, Taylor needs, we're going to get into what Taylor's done in the comments here, but with him, we know pretty much who the actor is playing him. You can go look it up, but they're still like using him in such a shade of mystery. I'm very curious to see what they're going to do. If he's going to have a long relationship with Natasha, if he's a sibling, I don't think he will be, but they're still portraying him as like something mysterious, where if he's just a flat out villain, lots of times they say, hey, this is the bad guy in the movie, but he's very kind of kept behind closed walls. We see him in little scenes in these trailers, but not much, and he looks cool. He has great action set pieces as well. So I think the trailer did a good job. I think I'm a little more excited, but Black Widow, for me, I was never that excited. I would have liked if she was alive when we go forward, but I've always said this as well. The end credit scenes are going to have some really great stuff. Chris from Marvel Alliance says, so what will it have to do on Disney Plus to make Disney think this is a success? So right now they're over 100 subscriptions. Hang on, ET Taylor. They're over 100. I think they're like 100 and 201 million subscribers. So really good. Like they're already breaking their goals. I'm going to let Taylor Phil of GeekVerse podcast start this because he just has his finger has a heart on right now.
Well, that wasn't exactly what I was going to say. I just want to do one more shout out for the trailer. I just want to say the Russian Avengers theme, I really dug it at the end of the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
It was,
that was
really
cool.
Good. So yeah, turning around, Travis like, oh, this fucking guy. And then he's like, oh yeah, that's
Well, you start, Taylor. What do you think? Like, so we had Godzilla vs. Kong come out this weekend. That was it. It's looking like it's projected 42 million on box office opening. That is the biggest one since COVID started. So it seems like the theaters are starting to come back. Like life's going into them. I'll look while you're talking, but I swear that might have been a bigger opening weekend than Godzilla King of Monsters. Now you could say, well, of course it's Godzilla vs. Kong, but it's still COVID. So the fact even if it did that. No, I'm just saying some people might out there say that. Some people like have to remember it is COVID. So the fact, even if it did beat the second Godzilla, that's really impressive considering I think the biggest box office opening before was like, it was either 10 or Wonder Woman, like a 27 something million. So it's almost like doubled. So what do you think, Taylor, is like a success for Black Widow? Because obviously, and probably post or pre-COVID world, this probably would have been $1 billion movie. You know, Captain Marvel was, the last Spider-Man, like their films average $1 billion. And I feel like Black Widow and Scarlett Johansson are both big enough IPs and actresses that they could have done that. But what do you think they want to see to be like, okay, this really worked out for us?
I personally, I do believe that it comes down to subs. That's all they really want right now. Again, they're going to make money. Obviously, they expect shared households. It's interesting. Yeah, I threw out the 150 million subs thing because obviously they're over 100 million, and like there's over 7 billion people on the planet. So to get like 48 million subs is not unrealistic, especially for Disney. So if you put out a Disney movie or a Marvel movie that is like imperative to the story somehow, I think people are going to definitely chime on with that. The downside is that, you know, Pirate Bay is a real thing, and it's interesting because like I don't think that's actually been like a serious problem with the Disney Marvel shows, but like it's interesting because is it just like a Marvel thing? Because obviously, like I've there's other Disney content that is like leaked, unfortunately, because you know people on the insides, whatever. But as far as the Marvel stuff goes, it seems like that's been really well kept. The same with even them releasing the Mandalorian digitally on Disney Plus. Like it hasn't seemed like that's ever leaked or anything like that. It's been a well kept secret. So it does make me wonder how or if they just have it like on super luck and it'll allow them to more better accurately like handle getting like all these subscriptions and stuff like that. I just feel like their security is like top tier when it comes to their Marvel products and their Star Wars products, but I think it just needs subs.
You would have to get someone in the dark webs to like be tracking it to see, okay, the second Mandalorian or Falcon premieres, how long is it on the internet? Because I imagine it could still be within 6 hours or 6 to 8, but it's like you still have that initial first day where people can't get it, you know, like, you know, there's somebody that has a laptop, they have this screen recordability, they have to upload everything like that. So that's a whole valid thing, but I think it's just, I guess you just don't want to piss off the mouse, you know, like maybe that's happened before and it's, you know, it doesn't go well for those people. Cause I feel like Disney is like the people that they'll find you and they will prosecute you within an inch of your life if they found you leak Black Widow, you know, like if it's some fan that did it, then sure, which it will, but it is just, I don't know what they need to be successful because they've done this twice with Raya and they did this with, there was another one. Oh, Mulan. And then now they're doing that with Cruella, which I all think are bad tests. Like, I don't think, even though my auntie today was like, I'm gonna, that's exciting. A new Dalmatian movie. I'm like, okay, sure, auntie. But like, I just don't think people are going to spend the money for Cruella. I really don't. This to me is the first one to really see if this Premier Access works because this is the first true Marvel MCU movie since Spider-Man Far From Home. It's almost, oh God, is it 2 years? Because didn't Spider-Man Far From Home come out in July? So it's been 2 years since a fucking MCU movie. That's nuts. So I think it will be somewhat successful. And to update you on that Kong stat, King of Monsters did 47 million. And this is going to do 42. So still just a little under, but still impressive for COVID. So I don't know. I guess, yeah, subscriptions, maybe. I don't know what the box office is going to do because I think if Kong is doing 42 million, Black Widow will beat that. I really do. Like, I think because it just has that Marvel bread and butter. But what about you, Kirkland? Do you think there's, obviously, I'm sure they have some sort of number that they're hoping to hit, but.
I'm going to let Jessica go because she actually had her hand up.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Multiple times. Like when
Where
Taylor
was your hand?
talking,
Where was your hand?
when
It was
Taylor
up.
was
It was up.
talking,
It was
and
up.
then when you were talking.
Check the feed.
Goddamn Taskmaster.
Yeah, you're not the mastering of the task here. Come on, Travis.
No, I'm not.
I'll be honest, I didn't pay for Mulan or for Raya. Do you have to have Disney Plus then in order to buy this? So you physically have to pay that $10 a month plus the $30 fee?
$40. Yes.
That's
For Canada.
That's terrible. Like,
yeah, but is it?
Well,
See,
no, it's not.
This is where I push back. It'd be the same way as if you are paying for Disney Plus and then you go see Black Widow in the theater. It's the exact same. And with Black Widow with Premier Access, if you pay for it, you own it. It's not a rental. You own that movie from now on. And obviously, it's going to go to Disney Plus eventually. So I feel like it's the exact same as the real world. Is like I'm paying for Netflix, and if Netflix put a movie in theaters I really want to see, I go pay separately for that. You know?
see, I will. I mean, I understand. Like, it was the same for Justice League and things like that. But I mean, had Wonder Woman if I had to get a DC subscription for that, and then, for one movie that I was interested in, I wouldn't have, and then paid on top of that. Like I went to the Cineplex store and rented it through that, as opposed to, because I think that was through a subscription service as well. Maybe that one was HBO Max. I don't
Wonder
remember,
Woman was just HBO Max for America, and then everywhere else was VOD.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's a service you're not interested in, like to have to do that on top of it. I mean, so I can understand now why we're saying yes, it needs to get another 48 million subs to be considered successful. But I don't know, if you have no interest in Disney Plus, it seems like a lot of work to subscribe, then pay extra, and then unsubscribe again right after.
Wow. Taylor said it needed another 50 million. Jessica said it needed another 148 million. That's huge.
That's definitely not. That's not what she said.
I'm
She
pretty
said
sure I said
148 million.
She said 48 million.
No way. I heard the 100. I'm gonna play that tape back and we'll see if I'm wrong or not. But tell us in the chat if anyone caught it.
I
Come on,
zoned out.
Kirklin.
I didn't hear anything.
He's still thinking about Taskmaster. over there.
I
Yeah.
unplugged my headphones. I can't hear anything you guys are saying.
I said 48 million because I thought you said that they're at 102 million right now.
Yeah,
and so
somewhere
they
like
need
that.
Mhm.
Yeah, 48 to get up to the 150. Now he's
There
taking
you
his
go.
headphones out. He knows I'm right.
He doesn't want to hear it. Yeah.
Okay, Kirkland, you can go now. I'm done my question.
Yeah. I mean, like going into these exclusive VODs, I was kind of on the negative side of the argument. I just it's kind of stupid that you have to pay like so much more just to see it. I mean, I guess it all started with the Wonder Woman one where you actually only got it for 2 days. You don't actually have it's Premier Access now. That's that term where you actually own it. My tune has changed definitely since I saw Raya, and I've seen that movie 3 times now. I totally got my money's worth out of it. I love that movie. Seen it multiple times. So
Watched
for
it
me,
today.
yeah, no, it's a stellar movie. I love it. Everyone should go see it if you haven't. But so especially for a movie like this, it is a top notch, top budgeted movie. I think I'm gonna enjoy it. I like pretty much all the MCU movies. I love Natasha, so I think I am gonna get my value out of it. So I think just ever since Raya, my whole just perspective on this exclusive access paying. What was this one? $30?
40 for us.
$40. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm just more
Say it.
optimistic on it. Yeah.
How does that work for the owning it piece of it then? If you cancel your subscription, is it just
It's good. Yeah, you don't have access to it.
so you
But then
don't
if you-
actually own it? You
No, but why would you cancel your subscription? I guess you might.
It's the same thing if you were to have a Google account, your Gmail, and you're subscribed to that, and then you have movies on there. If you cancel it, you can't access your movies you purchased on there. Same with iTunes, right?
Well, I mean, on my Xbox, I buy them and then they sit on my hard drive and I own them.
They do, but if you were to no longer use your Hotmail account or lose your Xbox account or whatever mumbo jumbo, then you wouldn't have access to the movies anymore, right? So all this stuff is just attached to your account.
Yeah.
anything
I mean,
else.
I think your relevancy would be saying if I stop paying for my Xbox Live, but I mean, if I have stopped paying for my Xbox Live and I still have the movies I've purchased.
Yep, that's true.
Yep.
You have those, yeah.
I'm just wondering because you keep saying that yes, you own it, but to me, I mean, if it's coming out, I'll watch Raya when it comes on Disney Plus in 5 months from now for free. So I mean, at that point, you don't really own it any more than anyone else because you have to have your account subscription.
Yeah, and that's where I was just saying that versus the theaters, though, as far as that's the one-time purchase versus you have it. So yeah, it is kind of some of those streaming services where it's if you quit, you don't have it anymore. But I guess it's just, I just know I'm gonna have Disney Plus till the day I die. So I guess I just know that it's okay, that this works for me, and obviously it'll go to that free. But it's almost the same thing as Netflix. You could buy it, or will eventually go to Netflix or some streaming service. Now Netflix not so much these days because everybody has their own streaming service. So any other thoughts on Black Widow, success, lack thereof, excitement?
Excited.
Yeah, there you go. Thumbs up from Kirkland Pats, or the Taskmaster fan. Let's talk about Suicide Squad. Thumbs down from Jessica for the Suicide Squad. No, let's talk about the Suicide Squad. So this is a trailer that originally released exclusive for Kong versus Godzilla. And then I don't know if they decide to put it out just because, or if because there was a bunch of leaks of people recording it in the trailer. But it's funny because people were recording and it was coming out like the night before April Fool's Day. So everyone's like, "Oh, is this something?" Blah, blah, blah. But then they released it and put it out there. So
Can I tell my story first?
Yeah, tell your story first. Cut me off. Go.
I'm going to. Sorry, you have to listen to me. It's part of the deal. I told the story earlier, and you just stopped listening, and only Kirklin heard it. But I'm going to repeat myself anyway. So, when you posted the links or the list of all the things we had to watch, and one of them was Suicide Squad Green Band. But the way on my phone, it cropped off and it just said Suicide Squad, and then underneath was Green Band. And so I thought it was Suicide Squad, a new trailer, and then a separate something for Green Band. And I spent like 5 minutes on YouTube Googling Green Band trailer, green trailer, trying to figure out what the hell I was supposed to be watching until I realized that it was one word or like one title. So that's just sharing my stupidity with the world.
There you go. You're not alone. I'm sure somebody's done that at some point. Taylor, I have to mention one thing for the YouTube watchers. I feel like it triggers me a little bit that you didn't capitalize the T and the F, but that's fine. I know it's just that's the way it is.
Why would I capitalize them?
It just looks better. The Suicide Squad trailer. So if you tuned into After 9, join the.
I mean,
Facebook
technically,
tier.
Grammatically, Taylor is correct there.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know, but like a headline, like in a newspaper headline, would you see it like that? No.
This is a newspaper, though.
It should be. We should be official. Like Chris just said, we could be Geek for streaming. What are we going to stream? I don't know. But we'll figure that out at some point. Wrestling matches, eating competitions, good stuff. Of course, Gauntlet. One day, fucking COVID. I'm the champion right now. I'm the champion right
Holy
now. Okay,
shouting.
well, that's a little bit. That's like the rage guy now. That's
It's loud,
the
yeah.
YouTuber. Yeah. I can't win with Taylor. I can't win. So anyways, this trailer I talked about on After 9. The first one I liked it enough, but I wasn't the biggest fan of it because it just felt like Guardians of the Galaxy with DC characters, and it could still very much be like that, and that's not necessarily a bad thing because I love both Guardians of the Galaxy's movies. I just wanted a little panache of something different. Now I think you still have the aspect, you still have the comedy, but there was just something about this trailer that flowed better. So it is a trailer, so we don't know which route it goes. Could it be the more Red Band trailer? Could it be this? I would almost say you're probably going to look more like the Red Band trailer because that's the Red Band trailer and the movie's rated R, so it would make sense. But if the movie does have a bit more seriousness like this, if it has some of these moments that it was having, and I think honestly, like the jokes played better for me in this one than they did in the other one. So I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. Yeah, I'm excited for all these characters. Like we got to see, and I'm surprised like how different the trailer was. When people were talking about like, hey, there's a new trailer, I thought, okay, it's gonna be one of those that has a few new scenes, but it's like, no, there's new lines from Peacemaker. You literally get to see Polka Dot Man throw his polka dots and stuff like that. You get to see Harley doing her breakout. So there's so much stuff in this trailer, and I'm so surprised. And they're really ramping up the marketing. Like TV spots are already out there. So, and I think what James Gunn said, it's the most watched Red Band trailer of all time. So people are hyped for this. I think the combination of Squad and James Gunn together is a big name. Obviously, got Margot Robbie back, some new characters as John Cena, Idris Elba. So I liked the trailer a lot better than the other one. So I'm more excited now, which is never a bad thing. So Jessica, once you found the Green Band trailer, what did you think about it?
So I mean, for me, my excitement level is still kind of the same. It didn't. I think part of it is I don't know any of these characters from not having any comic book. Like you're saying, like Polka Dot Man or guy or whoever threw his polka
Classic
dots.
villain. Yeah.
Pokemon dude.
Peacemaker,
Polka
not
dot dude.
Pokemon. No.
My words are not on point tonight.
Pokemon man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, like I have no connection to any of these characters except, I recognize Harley Quinn, obviously. But other than that, everyone else in this trailer is, I mean, from previous trailers, but it's nothing that I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this character. I recognize him. There was a couple of lines that did, I kind of got a laugh of them. They did land. They're, oh my God, we're going to die. And it's like, I hope so. And I was just like, man, I feel that guy.
Your dark humor.
Kirklin's the only one with my sense of humor tonight. It's okay.
Life's good, you know. I'm Idris Elba in that situation. There's a few characters also from the first Suicide Squad, which I'm sure you loved, but like Amanda Waller's back, who's like the team captain. Rick Flag, Captain Boomerang looks like he's back. What about Weasel? Does that character look like it appeals to you?
No.
Okay.
No,
I like him in
not
this
at all.
trailer.
I mean, I saw that John Cena in there. Everyone's excited about that.
Of course, I didn't
And,
see him at all though in there.
Yeah.
Good one.
Good night. Travis got his one-liner. Feel like I'm having a staring contest with him. It's really.
Kirklin, you ready to talk this time?
I am so ready to talk. I was rehearsing my words in my head, so hopefully I don't butcher anything here.
Who's John Cena playing?
I don't know. He wasn't in the trailer.
Oh, okay. I just want to see if he would say Peacemaker, right? Because I feel like it's pretty close to
I
Taskmaster.
actually didn't know that was his name. So
The Peacemaker is his name because he says in the trailer, he's like, what has he said? Like, peace will come at any option, even if it means I have to kill like every man, woman, and a child. There will be peace. So that's his character. It's like he wants peace, but he'll just do it violently. So
yeah, I think I like this trailer like same amount as the first one, which is interesting because the first one was rated R and this one is suitable for all audiences. But overall, I liked both of them. I like the action in this one. I think I like the humor a little bit more in the first one. It's like I like right at the beginning of the trailer too. In the first one is when like they're going to get Harley Quinn out and then she's just there, and like I think I just really liked the trailer going forward from that point. So like from right then and there, I was really excited for this movie. Yeah, it's just more action, more scenes. Got to see like different characters in action in this one, like you mentioned, Polka Dot Man. So yeah, I'm just excited to see this and see these different. I guess it's not a complete different roster, but just like the new characters that got added to the roster. I'm excited to see them in action and yeah, the thick shark boy. I'm excited to get some action with him.
Sylvester Stallone,
Yeah. It's just such a weird thing, like getting like these big names, like voice acting these creatures. You got Vin Diesel and Groot, Bradley Cooper, and then we got Sly. It's just it's kind of interesting. They're not even using like their iconic voice, so it's not like everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna go pay for this because I want to see Sylvester Stallone as his character. It's just like maybe you watch the whole film and then you see in the credits, it's like, oh my god, that was Sylvester. What? That was me with the Bradley Cooper casting.
I just question, like, Bradley Cooper makes sense, but I just question sometimes why they even pay for these people. Like, why are they giving Vin Diesel and Sylvester Stallone these amounts of money to like voice these characters? I don't think it will really help that much, but that's like a big thing in like the voice acting community that like people think that they should make a whole like uprising of watchers as far as like demand, like just get voice animated actors to do, not always celebrities, but that kind of started in the 90s and now you always get them. But I don't feel like these Marvel and DC movies need them, but alas, here we are. Sylvester Stallone's playing fucking King Shark. So Taylor, I feel like you would be a fan of Weasel. Did you like Weasel in this trailer? Because we got a lot of them. It's like that little guy who's like he's like licking the glass and he's like walking around all like crazy. He's played by Sean Gunn, his brother. So like,
of all the characters, I mean, I'm more like enjoying the King Shark kind of guy. Like I like my Killer Crocs and those sorts of dudes. I like my sub aqua.
It's like the Meg
creatures. yeah. So, but yeah, maybe I'll give the Weasel a shot. It should be kind of cool. But primarily, Polka Dot Man. That's definitely who I'm excited to see. So, as for the trailer, though, yeah, he is. And as for this trailer, I mean, I don't know. It's like, yeah, we got some new stuff, which is cool, but like, it's weird. I don't know. We just got a trailer, and then it's like, oh, here's another trailer. Because I ended up, I was scrolling through my news feed, and I saw like someone with their camera recorded the other trailer. I was like, I didn't fully understand what was going on because I was like, why is he recording the trailer that's released online? But then, oh, it's okay. It's a different trailer, and yeah, it had some new scenes and all that kind of stuff, which is fine. But it's I don't know. It was like you ordered like your main entree, and then someone comes up and is like, "And here's your entree," and it's like, "Well, I already have my entree." It's like, "Well, this is your entree too."
That sounds like a great night because you paid only once and you got double meals, leftovers.
The
Hey,
first
there's
one
free
is
food,
like
apparently.
the
Take
first
this
one is
back,
a
you
hearty
fucking scumbag.
the
I
first
don't
one's
want
a
this free
hearty
food.
hearty really good like meaty, like the meat is almost like still raw, it's bleeding out because it's red band, and then the other guy comes along and he gives you the green salad and it's like, this is your entree. It's like, well, I don't want
No,
that.
that's not the same. Like, I wouldn't say this is a
My
green salad
analogy's
compared to
fucked.
steak.
All I'm saying is we're to get a second trailer. Didn't make sense to get a second trailer. Didn't need it. I'm out.
My analogy's fucked. I think that's the first time Taylor's admitted he's in the trouble here. Wow, I guess I'm in minority. I need Hansi and Liam back, but Liam's busy tokening up, and Hansi's probably stealing some fucking shit off someone's yard during Easter. Like, she's the type of person that while kids are Easter hunting, she's stealing those fucking eggs from those kids. We know what you're doing, Hansi. So, I'll ask you the immoral question, and you know what people love when we do this. But if you, Kirklin Patzer, the movie gods come to you and they say, you know what, COVID really fucked us up, and you only get to watch one Marvel or DC film this summer. Well, respectively, one or the other. You can only watch Black Widow, and you can only watch the Suicide Squad. You only get to pick one option. So far as the trailers, obviously Black Widow, we've seen about 15 million trailers. And then Suicide Squad, we've seen 2 trailers within a week. So very odd situations. But if you have to pick, which one would you be having to see? And, maybe we'll see that other one down the line. But if you could only see one right now, you're going into the theater. It's back to regular world. You can buy a ticket to one showing first. Which gets it?
It's kind of a hard question, but I will try my
That's
best
what we
to
do
answer
here.
it. I feel like I'm gambling with my answer, but I think I would say actually Suicide Squad. Just because I want to see if it's like complete, like almost like a Justice League Snyder cut, like jump in just quality from the first one. So I'm very intrigued on if I really really like this one. Just because I don't know, overall I've liked what I've seen so far, but if it's not and it's just like, oh, that was terrible, and then I'm like, fuck, now I'm stuck with Suicide Squad. I got to keep watching this. I don't get to watch Black Widow. But luckily that's not the case. But I think I would still choose Suicide Squad for that reason. I want to see more Harley Quinn, So
Jessica, I feel like you're in that same camp, I imagine.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I feel like even without someone putting a gun to my head, you can only buy one ticket. I would probably still only buy the one ticket.
Wow.
unless there's a Black Widow death on screen in the credits again, then she'll want to see that. Notorious Black Widow, notorious Black Widow hater.
It's after the fall. She's like, I'm alive, and like a big boulder comes and crushes
Just
her.
bleeding out. Yeah, like I'm not quite dead yet.
And it's actually Hawkeye. He just finishes off with an arrow. Like, no, you're done. I want my family back. I don't know what Taylor's picking, so I'll go next because I unfortunately am in the same camp as these two as far as I think Black Widow is going to be very good. I think if you're asking me what has the chance of being the better movie, it's Black Widow, just because like MCU has that track record of quality, right? I don't think they've ever put out a bad movie. They've done very well. And I do think that it will be good. I think they'll have some good moments, but one, Black Widow is not really my character. And two, I think some of the big moments you could probably tell me in a conversation, because I think a lot of those will be the end credits. And like I said, I think those end credits are going to be fire. Though the end credits would be something when you heard about it, you might be like, oh, I missed that. Shit. Like, it could be that, but
shit, fall.
oh, shit, fall.
It's like September.
That's like September, bro. And well, and Matty Six says Black Widow just for Florence Pugh, and 100% Florence Pugh to me is the second best actress in the world right now, just behind Lupita Nyong'o. But probably the third best actress in the world right now is Margot Robbie. And Margot Robbie on any given day could be the best actress. And for me, I said this before, I could make a case that Margot Robbie playing Harley Quinn is maybe the best casting of all time, because I say it in the way of not Robert Downey or not Ryan Reynolds, because those guys are like that in real life. It's not a big stretch for them. They're not acting that much because Ryan Reynolds is very quippy. Downey's very cocky. Margot Robbie is nothing like Harley Quinn in real life if you watch interviews and then the character. So that's why I think she might be the best. Oh, maybe next to like Heath Ledger. So it's kind of funny they're both in that Joker family. But I'm interested to see what John Cena does. I love James Gunn's work. And even though that first trailer, I was like, is this just more Guardians? I trust him enough, and yeah, it's just because more Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn, because unfortunately after Birds of Prey we knew, okay, we got to see her one more time in Squad. I think we will see her again one day, but we don't have a guarantee of seeing her again as Harley Quinn. There's not been anything announced as far as right now. The Snyderverse doesn't seem like it's like running more as far as Joker and Harley stuff. Birds of Prey unfortunately was not that successful, so we're not going to get a sequel to that. So I want to watch it because I hope this isn't the last time we see her. But if it is, I would definitely rather see that. So, Taylor, Phil, are you making this 4 for 4? Or are you giving your money to the big Kevin Feige dog?
Kirkland, what do you think I'm
Feige
going to
dog.
pick?
I think you're gonna pick Black Widow.
Jessica, what do you think I'm going to pick?
Black Widow.
Travis, what do you think I'm going to pick?
Suicide Squad.
I'm going to pick Black Widow.
Oh.
So
when Travis cast his vote, I was like, oh shit, I picked the wrong one.
I thought
So-
for Weasel, you know, because like every day he's messaging me. He's like, look at this Weasel guy. It reminds me of Ruben.
What? I'm pretty sure you're making up
Look at Windows.
conversations.
No, you just delete all the texts.
No, I'm picking Black Widow specifically because, again, like I think
Paid by
I think-
Marvel.
yeah, Marvel's shilled me a lot of shillings. I feel like,
Toss a coin to your Taylor.
yeah, I feel like when it comes to James Gunn and this kind of aesthetic he's doing for Suicide Squad, like you make a good point, Kirkland. This has got a Snyder Cut aesthetic where it could be better than the original for sure, and you're curious about that. Now,
be.
I feel like could be. Yeah, I feel like
10 out of 10 movie, according to Taylor. So
Yeah, what the fuck, Taylor? You think this could be a better movie than Suicide Squad, but Suicide Squad is a 10 out of 10 movie. And folks, a little spoiler for Patreon. We did our commentary track. Please go to Patreon, the Phase 2 tier. You can get the whole thing. It's tons of fun. But he, even at the end was that because he's always been like, I need to watch that movie again. And at the end, he's like, you know what? I stand by that 10. I think that 10 was pretty good. So like this is so he's saying that a perfect movie in Suicide Squad could become even better with James Gunn's Suicide Squad, and you're still not picking that.
well, it's the same thing where it could be the Snyder Cut versus the original, right?
Yeah, I guess you like them both. You're that rare bird that is gave them both a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Me and Taylor are opposite ends of the spectrum. Like everything for you is so great, and everything for me is just so meh.
Well, you like Pokemon. It's not meh for you.
But you really had to think to come up with that one thing that I'm positive about.
You like Vampire Diaries. That's another thing. There you go. I
That
see your
has never
Twilight
once-
books behind you. Harry
That
Potter.
has never once come up on cast. Neither of those things.
I didn't know you're a Vampire Diaries fan.
Yeah, sorry,
Anything vampire.
Vampire Diaries have not come up on this podcast. I apologize. Even though Twilight did come up on our very first podcast, I do remember that because we said we weren't going to talk about Twilight, and then I think we had proceeded to have a 20-minute conversation from it, and people probably never tuned in back after that. They're like, "Fuck these people."
Now I got them front and center here. Just people watching.
Isn't that funny though? Like how relevant is that we talk about Twilight and now jump 6 years later and that guy's gonna be fucking Batman? Like it's
Full circle.
Like, it's still weird to me. Like I'm excited because he's a great actor and other stuff, but it's just so weird that like the guy who played Edward Cullen and Cedric Diggory is gonna be Batman in less than a year. Crazy.
Also, Cedric Diggory. Come on.
He definitely said Cedric Diggory.
Yeah, just like you said, $140 million. Okay,
She did say 48 million.
I
Did
know.
you
I
go
went
back
back
and
and checked it, but I didn't know that you did.
So yeah, what is this, Chris? What are you saying?
Fuck this. Read the comment when you're not talking. And just stop.
I'm sorry, but anyone that says I'm Marge in The Simpsons definitely gets my attention. Yeah, so Black Widow trailer, or not Black Widow trailer. Black Widow is the movie I'm definitely seeing, solely because I definitely feel like, okay, we've already had like a crazy adventure done with James Gunn, that sort of stuff with crazy wacky characters. And again, he's doing his own take. They're different characters. That's all great, fine and dandy. But when you deal with Black Widow, I feel like we're going to get some crazy new story stuff. The MCU is great at telling a whole good story. I'm going to have a very happy ending where I feel good about myself after. And I feel like, again, that
feel
post-credit
good about
scene.
myself.
Yeah.
After. What a weird statement. I watched that movie and I feel good about myself.
Don't get kicked out of the theater, Taylor.
No, I
Because he
will try
literally
not
just
to.
said that movie's going to give him a happy ending and he's going to feel good about himself. So I think he's masturbating during the end of the movies.
So I'm saying, don't get kicked out of the theater.
Yeah.
I do
Fuck,
not.
this movie's so good, guys.
I don't condone that. I've had to kick people out of theaters who are doing that stuff. It's a horrible thing.
Did they Silence of the Lambs you, or then they just like splurge on you and you're like, no, get out of my seat?
No, that's definitely not what happened.
Asking
Good-
for extra popcorn butter, but on the side.
Is that
Yeah.
a sex move? I don't get.
No, your
Is that a thing?
lubricant. Like it'd be
Oh.
your lubricant. Yeah, you've never done it, Madison? You never just just got a bunch of butter and just thrown it on her and like, dig in, babe.
But yeah, no, I again, the end credit scene is gonna be, as far as I know, like you said, Travis, the talk of the town. And again, like I feel like deep down I have like a guilty pleasure for Russian films that have like some like
Okay,
Wait,
Taylor,
You've
what
never
if
mentioned your deep down love of Russian films.
my go-to callback is The Hunt for Red October. That's just like, I really dig it. Like,
Fair enough.
I feel like that
You
could
got
double
me
as a
there.
porn name. The Hunt for Red October.
Oof, that's a that's a certain time of the month of October. So let's go to
I want to ask Taylor quickly, if there was no post end credit scenes for like either movie, would that change anything?
no, because I mean that's just
No.
like, that's a cherry on top. I mean, I didn't get a post-credit scene in
It's a
Godzilla
happy
versus
ending.
spoilers. I didn't get one in Godzilla versus Kong, but that didn't like ruin the movie for me.
No, but then you spam our GeekVerse chat when you're just like, you screenshot and you're like, release this scene. We need to see this scene.
I can
Because
start a petition.
you put the idea in my head. You're like, there were rumors and stuff of a scene, and so I was all freaking out.
Yeah.
Did you start that petition yet?
Well, actually, I learned that they actually put the scene in the movie, so I don't know what scene Travis is talking about. Or the director said, like, yeah, we did a post-credit scene, but we found out that it fits so good in the movie, so we just put it in there.
Sure, right. Hey, didn't we just go through fucking like 5 years of being like, I don't know if the Snark Cut's a thing, and then and then boom, we got
It's
a
true.
4-hour movie.
Warner Bros. Is full of liars.
Fucking, they actually are. They're such a fucking like like we're gonna talk about the canceled 2 movies in a second. Like they're just such a scummy studio right now. They have no idea what they're doing. Before we get in that, let's talk about what else they're doing. Space Jam 2 coming what is it, July something? It's like July 12th, is it? I don't know, but it's there you go. I like that title, Taylor. But I surprisingly liked this trailer. I was ready to shit on this movie because this is the classic remaking something of my childhood, doing something new. I just was like, okay, and like we keep putting this off, the Lola Bunny thing. Obviously, that was like a huge controversy, right? And was it a dumb controversy? Yes, because the debate was like they took Lola Bunny, who's super hot, which she is. I don't care, she's a rabbit, and like I'm not gonna say made her unhot, but definitely like I don't know. I just feel like they tried to like PG her. That's what I'll say.
They made her
And
unhot. I'll say it. You're dancing
for
around the
me,
question.
I don't have a problem with it really, other than I'd love to see hot Lola Bunny. So I'm not gonna spam Twitter and be like, "What's the problem?" But I do think it was like a weird change, and what I hated, and I could be paraphrasing, but I swear when the director made the statement of why they made the change, I thought for sure you'd get the statement of like, well, with the culture the way it is nowadays, more PG, we want to do that, blah, blah. I went, okay, I understand, that's what you do. But he had also, I think, I have to look it up, I swear when he read it, he had said these things like, oh, well, we wanted to show off how smart Lola Bunny is and like her personality. And it's just like, to me, it was equating like, okay, either you have to be a sexy character or you can be the smart character. You can't be the same. So when he said that, I kind of like joined the mob. Did I once tweet any hashtag out? No. But I was like, yeah, fuck this Lola Bunny. Because it's just like that to me, like Lola Bunny was a great character in Space Jam because, yeah, she was hot, but it was also because Bugs was like tripping over himself all the time. She made him nervous. She could outplay everybody. She was the best player on the team. So it was just like a cherry on top. But for them to be like, well, we wanted to show that she's sophisticated, so we had to like make her have baggy clothes. And it's just like, you can do both. Like you can be like smart and attractive. You can be both not those things. Like it was just a weird statement. But the trailer, nonetheless, I liked it. I liked the setup of, I hope that kid actor's on there too much because I don't want an annoying kid actor. But luckily kid actors are getting better nowadays. But I like the setup of, okay, he goes through like these different properties of Warner Brothers. It's literally looking like Ready Player One or the Lego movie. Like at the end when they're playing that game, people picked out that Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze is in the crowd during this game. And Dan DeVito's Penguin, yeah, and characters from Clockwork Orange and like the Scooby-Doo gang. So it's like, this is kind of fun. I think this is a new route to do it, and I think it's smart to do that because it also gets other people's franchises to be like, oh, I'll take notice of this. So am I expecting this to be a fantastic, amazing movie? No, but I'm expecting at least have a good time with it. I will see it. I think my kids will like it. I don't think it will have the same effect on me as the first one did because one, Michael Jordan's better, but two, I am a almost 28-year-old man, so I don't think it will hit me the same way. But I surprisingly like the trailer, and I'm kind of, low key excited for like when that pops. I'm like, okay, this is great. So Taylor, what about you? Are you excited for Space Jam? I feel like this is right up your alley.
Yeah, like I was never like I loved Looney Tunes growing up, but I wasn't like a super like religiously like absorbing the original Space Jam. Like I thought it was great, and it's definitely something like it. Nowadays, it's a good movie you can put on just in retrospective, like childhood and just like cool vibes. It got some Bill Murray in there and everything, but
Cool
with
vibes.
cool vibes with this one. Again, that I'm not gonna spoil it, but that meme you sent us earlier, Travis, about King Kong, I really laughed at that. That was just really good how it coordinated with this movie.
Fuck that movie.
But with this, I am excited. I'm excited. I just think it looks fun. It looks crazy, wacky. I never looked into the whole thing why Pepe Le Pew was removed. Why was he removed?
Well,
He
because
was gonna make like him and LeBron James were gonna have a conversation like regarding consent because he's always like hitting on. Is it like a specific person he's always hitting on, or just all females? He's just a player.
No, but specifically the cat that gets his skunk like tail.
Okay,
It's because Taylor, if you look at old Looney Tunes, he's very like kind of forcing himself upon a woman. Now, like again, this is not the conversation I thought we'd be having, but like I get it, but I feel like they were right in saying as far as he was gonna do that, and then LeBron would talk to him. Someone might say that's too woke, but I feel like that's what you do. I feel like you don't ignore things that happen. You take things in the past and then you update them, and someone's gonna be like, well, that's what they do Lola Bunny. Yeah, but to me, like I said, I didn't like the reasoning. I thought that was kind of a weird statement. To me, that would make sense of like, okay, Pepe Le Pew, it's a different time. You can't do that. And I never thought like I don't think Pepe Le Pew was trying to sexually assault the cat. Like, I don't think that was his main goal. He was just had a huge like libido and was trying to like put the moves on her. And I think in that past, that was not the right way to do it. But I feel like that's why you put him in the movie and then you do a skit like that. But I guess they even thought that was too risky, so they just wrote him out because they didn't want to deal with it.
I see. Didn't he have like an accent? Like, wasn't he a certain like ethnicity?
Where are we
of
going?
some kind?
He's French.
Was he French?
Yeah,
Pepe Le
know,
Pew.
Taylor.
That's his name.
Le Pew, yeah.
Le Pew.
Le Pew. Well, it could have been like Quebec. I don't know. It could have been like
Pepe
That's
Quebec.
still French.
Pepe Quebec is his name.
No.
That's even more French than Pepe Le Pew.
He's a Quebecois, so they got rid of him.
I'm Pepe Quebec.
No, I was just curious because, like, I always like in those older movies. I guess they always show like the French like being very romantic and like I'm not gonna go like as far as like forceful or anything like that, but they're very much like they like to woo the ladies. I guess you could say. So, I guess maybe that's what they were going for. I didn't know there was anything about the consent thing though. That's I didn't know that was the thing with the movie, so I thought they just axed him because he was like being too forceful in scenes. I was like, well, why did you do these scenes of being forceful?
set.
Like, remove him.
On set, he's being problematic.
They kept
Give him
drawing
a
him, and he's
Lola.
like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
yeah." No, like I think that's why they did remove him more or less because the character is that type of way. So again, I just feel like you should update and whatnot. But Jessica, what about you? What do you think about Australia? What do you think about some of these things as far as like the Lola Bunny thing and the Pepe Le Pew thing? Because you're the only female
It's
here, so
it's sorry to interject.
you're not
but
Jessica. Shut the fuck up. No.
It's so funny that we're just like talking about him like he's an actor that got like kicked from the project. It's
He
just
was
like
removed.
it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
he had some issues with the executives. You know, he wasn't good to work with.
James Gunn's putting him in the
Well,
Suicide Squad. He's playing
Because he's a
Weasel.
voice actor.
There's a voice actor. Honestly, though, like to teach and to properly like aid kids and help kids learn, just by removing him doesn't help. I feel like putting him in there, but having him learn about how to like respect everything is the way to go. Because you just axe them, you're hiding the problem, and that's what people love to do these days: is hide problems.
Uh-oh,
Christ.
Taylor's getting a soapbox.
Taylor, yeah.
You just pulled it up. It's all slippery because the butter's still in there. Fucking slip and slide. But yeah, Jessica, what do you think about all this?
So I mean, I don't see the problem with Sexy Lola Bunny. I think you could have left her in there. I mean,
Fuck yeah.
you know,
Come on. Now.
Dude, you're worried about me getting kicked out of the theater. It's Travis is gonna be.
Oh yeah, I would have had to buy a private screening for this movie if Sexy Little Bunny was in there. I've never been a more attractive animal in my life.
I mean,
Travis-
it's been like 10 years now, still thinking about that sexy bunny. Come on.
Oh
Travis,
yeah.
didn't you make a statement once of like, how can anyone be like attractive to like a cartoon character? I'm pretty sure you posted that question
I
on
feel
Facebook.
like that's actually, yeah.
I feel like that's wrong though, because like I definitely been
Pull that
attracted
shit
like
up. I'm pulling it.
you could find like I think for me it was the people. Oh, no, here's what you're thinking. It's the subcategories of cartoon porn that I go, that's not for me.
That's another level, yeah.
I think that's what you're referring to, because like I'm definitely
You mean the
attracted to like
hentai?
what the fuck?
No,
Isn't that the
hentai.
term?
No, hentai
I'm
is
just
still like
like-
people and just like tentacles and anime porn.
I'm talking about like how someone like I'll be scrolling through maybe X videos maybe at least 20 years ago, but I'll be scrolling through
Oh,
it
20 years ago.
and it's like on the sidebar you see like a video of like Marge and like Homer fucking, and it's just like, okay, who's watching this? Like I just,
He's looking for those Lola Bunny ads on the side.
well, no, so like I feel like no, there's Disney princesses, there's characters from the DC animated stuff. So I don't think it's anime characters. You can be attracted, but I just feel like people watching that specific porn is like it's never been my like I can say like, oh yeah, attractive Lola Bunny, she's sexy, but I'm not searching up videos on X videos to find like any Lola Bunny ones. Like that's the
Can Emily
line.
confirm?
What? No.
Oh.
Now, if there's like a human cosplay of like Faye Reagan playing Lola Bunny, then maybe, but that's not the case.
I feel like
Jessica.
I definitely am in the Kirkland's camp where you definitely said something about animated things.
I'm looking
can't be.
for it. I'm looking for it.
You're looking? Okay.
Good
Go
luck.
through the archives.
Next thing you know, we're going to be like canceling Travis because we found some old tweets from 10 years ago.
2012, yeah.
I deleted those all.
But that doesn't even matter anymore because they in the trailer it's like from the brilliant mind of James Gunn, so they're praising him
No,
now,
they
so.
said the disturbingly brilliant. So they're having their cake and eating.
They're
it too.
embracing it.
Yeah, this guy's fucked up. He tweets pedophile jokes. Come see his movie. Okay, so Jessica, you're for sexy Lola Bunny. How do you feel about Pepe Le Pew? Should Pepe Le Pew, the cartoon character, been canceled? Pepe Le Quebec.
Pepe Le Pew.
Quebec.
Yeah, he'd bring him back as Pepe Quebec.
Just rolls off the tongue. Pepe Le Quebec.
Mr. Quebec.
To me, that one, I mean, I can see how that's a little more problematic, especially with cancel culture. And I think that even to have him come in and then learn a lesson, you're still going to have that beginning piece where people will be like, oh, but you still had this character that was problematic. So I can understand why that one was taken out. I think from a cartoon family movie standpoint, it's easier to just avoid the topic than to try and bring it in gently and have him change his ways or however they would want to do it. So I can understand it. I was never a huge fan of Pepe Le Pew. His segments were not my favorite as a child. So to me, it on a personal level, I don't really care. The trailer in general, though, I feel like I'm kind of the opposite of you guys. I kind of fell out of it the longer it went. Like in the beginning, I was kind of like, this is really cool watching him go past all these different worlds. And, there was like, what in the Matrix is this or whatever? Like I laughed at that stupid line. But by the end of it, there was like the old, like Tweety's owner does her weird backflip things on her walker. And it's like, oh, senior discount, 30
That got
points.
me.
Really? I was
That
just
was
like,
good.
what the fudge is this?
That was good.
You know what I'm talking about? Me and Taylor are just, if I think it's stupid, Taylor's still backing it up.
Oh, totally.
So I don't know. I feel I'm kind of mixed on this one. Like I feel like it'll have some elements of just kind of, the feel good, fun to watch, bust out the popcorn and just kind of relax. Marijuana might help make this movie better though.
Crack.
Crack.
Wow, that jumped. I mean, they all fall into the same category for you though, I guess.
Yeah, that one drug's one gateway to the other. If I do one, I'm doing them all, Bring on the meth. Woo! Space Jam 2. That was the original tagline, but they also canceled that as well.
I feel like that's a smart choice. Smart
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Do we this one? I might have missed it at the end. Is this one also like Premiere Access?
HBO Max. So I imagine it's either gonna be theaters here if they're open or VOD here.
Maybe Crave, because
I doubt it because I think Crave the only ones they've made a deal for are the TV series for HBO Max, and just that's how they still got Justice League because that was supposed to be a series, so they made the deal. And then they're like, oh fuck, we're making it a movie, so we still have a contract. So I don't think Crave will get them.
Jessica, I have a question for you. So, on the terms of like how they handle like these characters and stuff like that, how do you feel about like Yosemite Sam? Because wouldn't that be like a
Yosemite
character? Yosemite.
He's a gum flavor now.
Yosemite Sam.
But like, what? Okay, before you ask it, like, why do you define him as like? So obviously, Pepe Le Pew is like he's like at the worst representing like rape culture, right? What is Yosemite?
He's shooting people. I'm pretty sure he shot LeBron James in this trailer.
No, he shot the ball, and then Daffy was on the other end of it.
Oh, right. So, but he's advocating the rights to use guns. Isn't that a bad thing?
Yeah, but that still can be legal. Where what Pepe Le Pew represents is not legal at all, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Jessica, you got more to add on
I'm
that?
gonna wave my question down. It's Travis.
Yosemite.
Yosemite.
All right, I was reading Kirklin posted his receipt about the attractive character animated.
Oh, did he find it?
Good job, Kirklin.
Oh yeah, I found it 44 weeks ago. You can't hide. I feel like there's more info in the comments, so I'll crop the comments as well.
No, but see, you're wrong. This is me saying that Emily thinks it's weird. The statement is Emily thinks it's weird that you can find the animated characters attractive or handsome. She is wrong about this, right? Question mark. So I'm saying she's wrong.
Yeah, so he's saying you can find them attractive.
Boom!
I was just
sorry, Kirklin.
Why are you apologizing? I'm not on any side.
Oh no, you were. He just went challenge accepted. He was all bragging.
That was Maddie. Maddie speaking for me.
No, you texted Maddie. Maddie's our Mr. Quebec. He's Pepe Le Quebec. Maddie, that's your new name now. But no, see, I find you can fuck animated characters if you want. All animated fucking rights.
Okay, so what was the question about Yosemite
Why isn't Yosemite Sam canceled?
One last thing on that before you go, Jessica. Travis did post a GIF of Lola Bunny on the post, so there you go. Double points to him.
Oh yeah. If I was a bunny, would have been on to the break of dawn.
Emily doesn't let him buy rabbits anymore.
No. Anymore. Yeah, I've never owned a rabbit in my fucking life.
Why would he be canceled? Is he the guy that hunts? He's a hunter.
Yeah.
Why would he be canceled though?
Well, I mean, he's just shooting everybody.
That still happens in parts of the world that I won't specifically call out, and it's not been canceled yet.
Yeah, that's true. I was just curious. I'm not looking to be proven wrong or anything. I was just
He's
curious.
next though. Don't worry, buddy. Space Jam 3.
He's
We're going after Yosemite Sam.
Cause a scene on set, and they might have to remove him.
Cause a scene on set. The animated character.
Keep shooting, the
buddy. Don't touch
guards.
don't touch my guns. Kirklin, you haven't talked about Space Jam 2. What do you feel about all this stuff we just laid down?
Yeah, just commenting on Pepe. I definitely agree with you guys. I think it's kind of silly that like they just want to avoid the whole conversation and not like have a discussion on camera about it. And like it doesn't even have to be cringy. It could just be like a very simple like, hey man, you can't do that. And then like you go on. It's not like we have to sit down with him for 25 minutes.
It's like a 15 dramatic scene. He's like, why can't I? Why can't I do this, LeBron? I'm just expressing like it's a full like best picture Oscar nominated. Like, no, Pepe,
it's black
you can't.
and white. Yeah, it's all like dramatic.
Therapy scene. Al Pacino comes in. Hey,
Yeah,
if you're gonna do this, fuck you.
I definitely agree with you there. And then I also agree with Travis on like when this trailer started, I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna like this. I'm not gonna like this. And then as it went on, I'm like, fuck, I like this. Space Jam, like the first one, that is such a special place in my heart. I have a hat for Space
Special.
Jam. I watched that movie all the fucking time when I was younger. I
Do you
had
have
it
a
on
Toon
VHS.
Squad jersey?
No, I don't.
Mm.
They cut me from the team.
Hello, you and Pepe
They
come back.
canceled him.
Yeah. I was defending Pepe, so they asked me to leave.
Guys, he doesn't mean it. He's just joking around.
Yeah. But yeah, I absolutely love the first one. I've seen it so many times. So I think this will be the lesser of the two, but I still think I'll enjoy it. I think they're doing a decent job at like yeah, like it's tough when you have a movie like this because it's like technically they are just remaking it, but like you don't want to just have the exact same villains come back and like the exact same situation. Like I'm glad LeBron wasn't like golfing and then he gets sucked down the hole again, because then it would be obvious like that this would just be a lesser version of the first one. So I am
Don
glad that
Cheadle's the villain.
Don Cheadle's the villain. Yeah, we have a human
Is he the
villain
villain in
around.
this?
I
Looks
think
like
so.
it.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was the villain at all.
That says so much about your life, Taylor. That the big floating head guy who's like, you have to play a game of basketball to get your son back, and you're like, he's not the villain. That's
Is
just
that what he
bizarre.
said?
Good, yeah.
Yes.
Did he say that in the trailer?
Yes.
Oh, I
And
thought
then
he
he-
was just kind of like the curator, kind of showing
Child
him the ropes.
mapped him. Yeah.
I thought he was
Send
just
him to
joking
the-
around.
Send him to the garbage world, or whatever he says. Like,
The rejects, yeah, they call the Looney
Yeah.
Tunes the rejects, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean overall I did like this trailer. They had like a different version of like the Space Jam theme song. Nothing will beat nothing will beat that first one. Like that is just such a hype song. This one is like a lot more toned down.
baby, run, baby, run.
Those
Come
like
on,
opening credits to that
Oh.
first movie. Holy shit.
They're so
They're
hype.
s-
I want to
they're
play
so hype.
basketball every time I see those fucking credits. I'm
He's like
I want to
dunking
be.
on people. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and he's like, "Come on, get up,
Hey, yeah.
get ready
Hey,
for the
what you
jam.
gonna do?
It's gonna
Hey,
be
oh.
a Space Jam going down. It's his hand, raise his hands, spin the Space Jam.
It's
All right,
it's
all
like
right.
it's probably
Wave
top
your
10.
hands
Like
in the
most
air
hype
like you
intro.
can."
Mute Travis. So they had a reworked version of that song. Like I mentioned, it's not as good as the first version, but
Run, baby, run! Like that song.
that's perfect.
The song is just like a female singing rap and a guy yelling out random stuff.
Oh
do
yeah,
it now, do it.
you're like little 6-year-old just getting fucking hyped in your living room,
Yeah,
dunking on your mini net.
dunking on Lola.
Yeah, and I also thought that Lola looked better in this trailer. I don't know if they've touched her up since like the controversy or something. Like, again, we saw her from the side, but she did look a little bit better than the little snapshot that we saw.
They're just
I'm hopeful.
scrambling after the controversy. Raise her shorts up, raise her shorts, but not too high.
Yeah, give her thicker hips. We need thicker hips.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I'm excited to see this, and it was just so weird to like see LeBron like acting with like this kid that's like obviously not his kid. Like I follow him on Instagram, like I follow his son on Instagram, so like his son looks just like him. So it's so weird to just see this like random kid that's just obviously not related to him.
Same thing
but
as
anyways.
an actress playing his wife too. It's like, okay, this is kind of
Yeah.
weird, but all right.
Because I think in the first one, Michael Jordan had his actual family. I think like in that. I could be wrong. Maybe I should fact.
I think
check
not
that.
the wife because I think he was divorced
okay.
at the time, but his kids
okay.
might have been his
Yeah.
kids.
Again, like it might have just been the perfect age range. Like I don't think he has a kid that prime age of this actor playing him, but or maybe they just didn't want to go that route. But anyways, I'm excited for this. I also really didn't like the jerseys the first time around, but seeing them in action, they're growing on me. So
Yeah.
Just to fact check you, his real kids were not in the film, but their names were used.
Oh, okay. They look like them, so good on the casting there. But oh dear, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah,
You're talking about jerseys.
I love see the jerseys, they're growing on me, and I just love seeing like the Iron Giant in this, and we got Kong in there, a couple other ones. You mentioned like the Easter egg of Mr. Freeze. That's pretty odd. Like I think I'm really excited for that because you brought up the comparison to Ready Player One. I really like that movie. So again, more of the same. I'm excited for it.
Warner Brothers just loves to fucking pimp out the Iron Giant, though. Hey, like anytime
Iron
they can
Giant
use him,
is one of the greatest
I'm still
characters of all
I'm still
time.
waiting on that sequel too. It ended on a cliffhanger.
you're all saying the true things. I just love that anytime they have a chance to do a big crossover thing, you have a shot of the Iron Giant, and it feels like they like repurpose the same shot over and over. Him just stepping over something like whoa, like it's always that.
Go
So it's
to
just
move.
funny. Yeah, so maybe one day we'll get that sequel. All right, now, oh fuck, we've not taken any ads. We're gonna take an ad break right now. I completely forgot about that. There's gonna be one earlier in the cast that I didn't throw to at all. So we're gonna take an ad break right now. We'll be right back. And we're back, and we're here to talk about Spiral. Now, Kirklin, did you watch the trailer for Spiral?
I will in about a minute here. So just
Okay,
don't go to me.
you didn't have to. I was just trying to get your opinion as a non-Saw fan, as far as this looking like a revival of Saw. To be
Oh,
like, if it had any
Saw.
interest.
Sorry, I heard Spyro for some reason. I'm like,
I heard
it's-
Spyro too.
Fuck off, guys.
it's like Spiral. That's like the name of it.
Spiral, yeah.
Spiral.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I didn't see the full trailer, but when you're like scrolling and then it has the trailer and you watch it like with no audio, just like subtitles. That's what I was doing.
Mhm.
Yeah, I will not watch. I'm just not a Saw person. Like that is not my
What if
niche.
we pay you?
If you pay
Oh my
me, I
God,
will
not
think
again.
about it. I've
How
seen the first
much?
one. I saw how much? If you want to pay for my Black Widow, there you go.
Ooh.
Then you'll see it or you'll think about it.
I'll see it. I'll definitely see it.
Wow.
You guys want to chip in?
No.
$10 each?
No.
Because
No.
I feel like, unfortunately for Kirkland, like I don't know if he would have to watch all the other ones, but to appreciate it, because like I know this, because Dylan was the same
seen
way.
the
I know
first
you're
one.
like, it's with torture porn and whatnot, but like there is a real like lineage there and a history. And
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of announcements in the April about content, but I will announce here that we're going to be putting all the Saw retros back in the main feed because they're completely out. So, and I know there's lots of people that have not heard them. So you're going to hear all the reviews for the 7 Saws and Jigsaw, and then we'll review Spiral. So all those are going to go back into the main feed. I think they're going to be 2 a week starting soon because there's so many of them, but they're really, really fun casts that we did. It was me, Jessica, Taylor, and Dylan, and it was great, especially for Dylan because he had not seen a single one. So his reaction. So Maddie says he's so pumped. Saw's
Yeah.
back, big fan. Yeah, well, Maddie, if you've never listened to these, they're going to be back in the feed. Obviously, they're the older mics, so the quality's not as good, but there's still some really good episodes. And
What
Yeah,
was
it's-
it? Mike's then, or was it Mike?
it was Mike. Yeah,
One
it was
Michael.
just Mike.
No,
It was just one mic we used, hence the bad audio quality. So, the
Yeah,
big bad booty daddy.
Like I've seen the first one and I did like some of like the mystery elements to it, but just the whole, like the main theme of it, just not for me. I just don't like it. Maybe I'll find like a supercut on YouTube or something where it's just like character moments and then they just skip all of like the torture stuff. Cause like ever
The
since I was
50 things
younger,
you need
like,
to know before
my
watching
friends
Spiral
would be
for
like
the video.
so hyped to see like a Saw movie. And I'm like, oh, like just the idea of it just makes me cringe and I can't do it.
I feel like this movie, if you were to like swap scenes with the Batman with Robert Pattinson, I feel like the aesthetic would blend in. I feel like you could have like
Okay, I see where
one
you're going, yeah.
cohesive film, not literally, but I feel
Same
like they could like
universe.
same universe, yeah.
Well, I agree with you
Batman's getting
because
darker and darker.
people have kind of proposed that like the Riddler in the new Batman movie might be kind of Jigsaw-ish. Like we've even seen from that trailer, like he has a guy taped to the fucking chair with his like whole face taped to it. So, and I've still speculated that the Batman might be rated R, and I've always said like the Riddler as Jigsaw, that'd be perfect. And Maddie's bringing up in the chat that he says Chris Rock's acting was super cheesy. I thought it was decent, but the problem was, am I going to watch this whole movie thinking it's Chris Rock? And that's what I felt so far, that it is just Chris Rock. Now you got Sam Jackson there. That's great. I'm ready for any Saw because I thought after Jigsaw, that was it. We were going to be done for quite a while because Jigsaw is so bad. It is easily the worst one in the franchise. And that was supposed to be the revival that got us back. So not a great sign for that. So the fact that we're getting some, and I've always liked that for some reason, Chris Rock had an idea for a pitch and they made the movie. I like that. We've seen other comedic actors do good in comedy, Get Out for Jordan Peele and stuff like that. So I like the idea around it. I like that we have, even if Chris Rock is super cheesy, a big star, another big star in Sam Jackson. We have a director who's directed 4 or 3 Saw movies. I think it's 3 Saw movies, and Darren Bosman. So the pedigree's there. I'm set up to be excited. I'm set up to get Saw back in my veins to be excited. Do I want another 8 Saw films? Yes, I want every Halloween. That was my ritual. Every Halloween, a new Saw came out, and I saw it, and I fucking loved it, or really liked it, or had a lot of opinions. But either way, I'm hopeful. I gotta have faith on this one. But I like the trailer. I like that we're only seeing snippets of the trap, because that was a mistake some trailers did back in the day where they'd show the traps way too early, and you'd know, like, okay, I'm waiting for this one. I'm waiting for this one. So I think that's a good idea. I like that they're doing what I thought they should have done with Jigsaw, as not who is the new apprentice. Is this a copycat? Now, maybe they will do a new apprentice thing, but I think they're really showing that this is in the universe of Saw, but it is a true continuation of like a new killer, a new, like, just taking the ideas, not what Jigsaw maybe tricked us into thinking. And then it was like, no, it's just kind of like another sequel that you have to watch all these from. I think there's a way to do them both. I like that for the first time, because we were wondering, we got to look at Tobin Bell as John Kramer. There was a picture of him. So that is still saying, and they've talked about how he's dead. So to me, I'm hoping this is what Jigsaw wasn't. You know, I'm hoping that this is everything I was hoping for. I think that came out in 2017-ish, I think, somewhere around there. So I just have faith. Taylor, what about you? How are you feeling about this after, like I said, it's years ago we got Jigsaw. It was not a great, that was like, I think one of the first movies you ever failed on the podcast was Jigsaw. It might have been the first one that you failed.
Just a bad experience. I don't even mean just like the movie, because like the movie was
Smelly, right?
like in retro. No, that was Lego Movie.
Oh, Lego Movie. Okay.
This one was just like the person next to me, like always checking his phone, coughing every 5 seconds, like chewing with his mouth open, his peanuts or whatever the fuck he's eating. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. I was really hungry.
Yeah, but I'm hoping this is going to be redemption. It looks good. It looks super spooky and creepy and just total like what Saw should be. So I'm very pumped for it. I love again, like the thing that I always think of when I think of Saw is the puppets and the dolls. So we got to see like a new little puppet in this trailer, which is pretty cool. So
new pig mask as well too. I like
a
that.
New pig mask. Yeah, I mean, if you guys play Call of Duty with me, you know that I usually rock on special occasions my Billy the Puppet suit. So
special occasions. Mostly special occasions.
It's if we're losing like 3 in a row, we got to get that win.
So he throws on the obnoxious Billy the Puppet outfit that anyone can see. Who stands up more in a war zone? I don't know. This guy's a man puppet. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm so excited for this movie. I really am. The hype is there, and yeah, I just. Bring it on. Let's do it.
Bring it on.
Jessica.
I'm excited for this. I think, Travis, you kind of touched on it, that it's the idea of it being a copycat as opposed to trying to, you know, it's more like a restart as opposed to a revive. So I'm super excited to see. Really, they could take this in a number of different directions. I feel like with Saw, when you're doing the Jigsaw thing over and over, you're stuck with that as far as where you can go. Where this, there's a lot of different options. And, you know, Maddie kind of touched on it, you know, getting the movies annually. This does open up to being another, you know, 2 or 3 different movies about this new killer. But I definitely agree that, you know, Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson being in this, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I do think that you could have just, you know, taken some no-name people and been okay not having someone recognizable.
Could I throw the counterpoint as maybe because Jigsaw is so bad they want to have stars to get people back in? Like seeing a Sam Jackson might be like, you know what, I might actually watch this, where the no names be like, I don't know. And I still, we're gonna probably do a predictions cast before the movie. I still think there's a chance Sam Jackson is the new killer. I think there's a chance because he's played evil before, and I think there's a chance. It's my gut feeling right now.
So there's 2 kind of points on this. One is when I think of Chris Rock, you know, I think of funny, you know, think of Madagascar, that, you know, like his voice just sticks out, like he's recognizable.
Yeah, 100%.
It's more what I meant by that. Like you
okay.
That movie starts and you hear his voice, you're like, oh, okay, I know who that is. There's no kind of hiding that illusion.
I agree.
But the other piece of it is, though, I do think of like the number 23 with Jim Carrey, and Jim Carrey's the same, like super recognizable, super just funny. But the number 23, he did a really amazing job playing something super serious and not in his own wheelhouse. So there is the possibility for it. It's just, it definitely I go into it with some skepticism. And I do think that there are other big names that are more horror-esque that people could have considered, not a comedy name as the main. That being said, Chris Rock was listed as was it director, producer, or
He's
something
producing
like that.
it, yeah, because apparently it was his idea. That's why they started doing the movie. He had to pitch the studio, and they're like, "Well, let's do it." So he might even have like a story by credit as well for writing.
So, I mean, in that sense, I mean, if it is his idea and his, maybe that'll aid to it turning out better as well because he knows what he's trying to go for. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I love the Saw movies. Praise Saw 2 quite regularly. And someone in the chat did say, that technically you don't have to watch it for the gore, but for the good twists, which is super true. And I hope that this one, I don't necessarily want Samuel L. Jackson to be the bad guy because I don't think that's a great twist. I think that's too predictable. So I'm excited. Any type of movie that's a good mind fuck is a win for me. Except for that time travel in Endgame.
Oh yeah, that's a tough one. Well, any other thing left on Spiral? Nope. Well, we did it. Did a nice impromptu newscast. That was fun. Talk about trailers. Had some laughs. Oh, Taylor has something
Got
to
a
shout
finger
out.
up.
I got my finger right up. I just wanted to shout out the Bad Batch trailer that they dropped.
Right.
Yeah, they unveiled a lot of cool things in that, including Saw Gerrera again, which I didn't think we'd ever see him again in Star Wars, to be honest. But yeah, that has me actually pretty hyped to see his post Clone Wars kind of character. And then again, we got much more of a look at Fennec from Mandalorian, which is pretty cool. Yeah, the premiere is 70 minutes, they said.
I don't understand. So I just I did not watch the trailer, which is you're not spoiling anything. But I purposely usually don't watch the animated ones because I know they're smaller, so I don't want to be spoiled much. But yeah, they said the premiere is gonna be May 4th, so we're staying up to midnight on a Tuesday, and it's gonna be 70 minutes. So I just don't know. Does that mean, like I've said before, is episode 1 very long, or are they premiering a bunch of episodes at the same time? I think it's one's long because if they were doing like 3 episodes, that would only no, because most of them would probably be 22 minutes, unless they're a little over. So maybe it is just 3 episodes. I don't know. I'm interested to see what that is. But I also feel like if it's 3 episodes, they take away from their view count as far as throughout the weeks people subscribing, right?
Yeah, I took it as one massive episode, basically.
Okay.
But yeah, like that's a crazy long amount of time. But I'm stoked with that. Like the trailer had me so excited. The Bad Batch characters just seem to really like stride true in this trailer. And just to see, I cannot wait to see clones post Order 66. That's like we get like little tidbits of that in the comic books that Disney has put out now. But oh my god, to get it actually like in this series is going to be so juicy, and the animation looks so polished. It looks so good.
How does it compare to those final 3 episodes of Clone Wars?
Like animation wise, I'd say it's on point and then some, to be honest. Like
really? Okay.
I just like the shots look so good.
Okay, that's really good. I like hearing that. So yeah, I'm excited. Somehow I've been roped into the animated series now in the show, so I'll be watching with Taylor. But yeah, we'll be reviewing those. Obviously, maybe the first episode because it'll be 70 minutes, but those ones won't be, I think, as in depth as the other reviews we do. But we'll be doing the same thing where when that comes out, we'll watch at midnight, throw a review, and then it'll be there for the morning if you want as well. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to get more Star Wars content, and I hope it's good. I have a tricky relationship with Clone Wars, but it ended on quite a high note. So I'm excited to see what they can do. So yeah, Bad Batch, bring it on. Let's see what they got. Well, that was fun. I think we had a good time, Yosemite Sam and all. That was worth it right there,
What's his real name?
Yosemite Sam.
Yosemite
Sam. You mean that it means his whole life he's been calling him Yosemite Sam to everybody, and people just let it go.
No one's ever
Smite?
commented on it until you guys.
His first name's Smite, last name Sam. Everyone's just like, yo, Smite.
What about the canceled thingamabobbers?
Oh, right.
We can skip it. We kind of touched upon it a little bit, and then because we're running longer.
That's all the
cancel some
news
movies.
right there. Just read the little plug there.
Yeah,
What
just
I'll
write down-
say, this is what I'll say for a cheap plug is, you know what, check out DCA Alliance, or just DC Alliance, our podcast network. They're going to cover it. They canceled some movies as far as the Trench, which was the Aquaman spinoff, and then New Gods, which was going to be a film centered around Darkseid and like his people. And they canceled, and like one of the rumors for canceling New Gods was like, well, they just had Darkseid in Justice League. And of course they pissed off all the fucking DC fans because they're like, a year ago you were saying, oh, we're all about the multiverse and doing multiple versions of characters, but now you're saying we can't do multiple version of this. And the other word was that the reason that this happened is because Flashpoint, as of right now, is still being used as like a soft reboot. So these films no longer fit into DC's plan. I don't know what the fuck their plan is. It feels like they're still in a fucking blender every week. So yeah, I don't know. You could listen to back in GeekVerse, other podcasts. I've said for a long time, New Gods was never going to happen. I just had that vibe for a while. And the Trench, I thought could have been a cool idea, but I still don't know how that would have done successfully. I love the Trench and Aquaman, those like little like water monsters. Oh man, someone's gonna screenshot that and use this against that forever. But I just don't think that could have sustained a whole movie. But Taylor, any thoughts? Because I know you really like the Trench part as well in Aquaman. But do you think what do you think about them being canceled and everything?
You can look down and see what Taylor thinks.
Oh, I saw it.
Right,
Where's my Trench movie? You jerks! Oh yeah, that could have been anybody.
I was extremely let down when they announced that. It's like, what the flying fuck? Like, come on. Like this is.
Oh, God.
No,
I was just gonna
ahead.
say, I think the reason people are mad again is just because and even I've been seeing the hardcore DC fans tweet this out, where you look at Marvel, they literally have it planned in 2023. They have this nice succinct look at this big square with our fucking 36 projects that you know unless something happens like unfortunately with Chadwick Boseman, unless it's something earth shattering, these movies and shows are going to come out. Where DC, it's like time after time, it's like we're doing this movie, no, we're not doing this movie, no, we're not doing this anymore, it didn't work out. And it's just like, I think the fans, because the whole big thing that was trending this week is people want DC to become its separate studio like Marvel is. And I don't think that's going to happen because Warner Brothers owns DC and they are not going to give up DC. They're not going to let them go on their own unless something really happens. And
well, they don't have to. I totally agree with the fans. Like, I think that they need to just have because make subdivisions. You have Warner Brothers doing their own main thing, and then you have basically just funneled down the tree or whatever. You have DC, and then DC has their own thing where they do their own stuff. Literally, Warner Brothers just pays the bills to keep the lights on and say, here's your money, do your stories and everything. And then that works because there's so many head honchos. This is in companies everywhere. They don't have a fucking clue what's going on down below, and they put their fingers down in there, and it just doesn't work. And then it pisses people off, and it's like, no,
calm down, Pepe.
Pros, yeah, let the pros do what they're gonna do. That Trench movie, I was so sold on that. As soon as they announced it, I was like, not James Gunn, James Wan. James Wan was going to be in that, and I was like, "Oh man, that was the highlight of Aquaman actually for me." And I was gonna rewatch that scene, but I forgot, so I'll have to do that after.
What a sidebar! I was gonna rewatch that scene, but I forgot. But yeah, no, I'm with everybody as far as I think they need their own studio. They need a Kevin Feige. I'm not saying they need Kevin Feige in particular, but they need the same thing as Kevin Feige, who produced movies but also loved Marvel Comics. You need somebody that is the best of both. That because they've tried that before, where they go, "Oh, we just got a guy who loves and knows the comic books," but it's like he doesn't know fuck all about producing. And then you get the other guy, it's like this, where it's like all they do is produce, and they need that. But the thing is, just Warner Brothers is, I just think, shitty. As we've learned this past year, lots of controversial stuff has happened these past few years. And it's like, and that's where it's like this whole multiverse thing. It's just a fucking buzzword because they wanted to make a Batman movie. Like, oh yeah, the multiverse. But it's like the reason they give as far as like, yeah, we can't do Darkseid, this movie with Darkseid in it because we just did it in Justice League. It's like, that makes no sense. And even then, I feel like that would be the time because I feel like Darkseid's more popular than he's ever been in his life because people who didn't know who Darkseid was know now. And it's like, nah, let's not do that. It's just like, like the person that was directing was an Academy Award nominated actor or director. She's very praised, and it's just like, and I didn't think it was gonna happen just because I knew Warner Brothers was gonna get fucking cold feet and they'd pull away. But it's just, I don't know. It's just I feel bad for all. Like I do feel bad for myself, but like Batman's my guy, so I know I'm always gonna get a Batman movie. Like I'm getting one next year, but like I do feel bad for just DC fans that like these projects and want to be. Like I said, I want DC to be like Marvel, just in the sense of not be the exact same style, just like. I want us to get to that end game one day. I want us to see that fucking 10 movie slate. No, all these are coming out. Like The Flash was supposed to come out 3 years ago. Justice League or Green Lantern, we're supposed to have another movie in like 2018 or something, you know? And it's just like, no, here we are. We're still talking about them. So you guys got anything or no?
Well, I mean, just like to add on quickly, like it is really unfortunate because even for someone like me, who I'm not really invested in DC, but seeing the Snyder Cut kind of changed my tune there, and that was like the first time I've seen Dark Side. So you just mentioned like the newcomers to the dark side, how they may be getting excited. I am in that category, and I was excited to see more of him. So it is a letdown because it's like, oh man, like I've never really been a DC guy, but maybe this will turn me around, and I'm getting invested in this villain. And then all of a sudden, they just pull the rug up from under the fans. It's it doesn't help the relations between Warner Brothers and the fans. That's for sure. I'd say
They bait you. It's like they ask you
Yeah.
like here we'll go out for dinner. You know, it'll be a good time. Like I want to take you out for dinner. And you go out, and then it's like, oh, you know, I forgot my wallet at home. Sorry. Like that's exactly it.
No trench movie in here.
I feel like all of this stuff should have happened before Justice League. I've said this before, but I feel like that's part of it, right? You got to try and build up the hype about all these characters and the side kind of worlds and then bring it together for one. I mean, I feel like, okay, I've seen the end game of DC, moving on. Why do I need to have everything be a prequel?
I don't think that was the end game of DC. I think that was the Avengers of DC. Because even in that movie, they do set up the whole like, there's some more evil shit out there. Like we got to stop it. You know, like I think there's still more adventures to be had, but they haven't announced those adventures. Unfortunately, they haven't even announced the Snyder Cut numbers. Tina Turner documentary was out for 3 days, and they talked about how it's the biggest documentary HBO Max of all time. But Justice League, they still have not released any numbers. 0. They don't want to say anything about it. But Crave's released numbers, and all these other people have, and it's like, why isn't HBO Max saying anything? Some people speculate, oh, maybe that's a good thing, and they're going to do some big announcement. But it's also just them hiding stuff, which is just like,
oh, they're hiding.
I don't know.
They don't want to
just
stoke
weird.
the fire.
Why do you want to hide up? Why do you want to hide? Like when we get a breaking episode, like a month break or a biggest episode, I'm shouting it from the fucking moons, like, hey, thank you everybody that listened. This is great. Like you broke our record. Like last month in March, that was our biggest month for us and the podcast network. They had their biggest episode of the Justice League thing. Justice League was like our 5th biggest. Like I'm so excited. I'm happy that people listen to us and support us and spread the podcast. And like, nah, we don't want to talk about Snyder Cut. It might have been the most watched thing on HBO Max, but fuck Zack Snyder. It's just like, why? Like you're making money. Like I don't get it. I really don't get it.
I mean, it seems like there was some stats pushed, but it wasn't necessarily positive. You know, only 36% of people finished the Snyder Cut once starting it. You know, things like that.
I never saw that one. I gotta find that.
Yeah, more than 60% of audiences didn't finish Snyder Cut.
Oh, okay. I gotta look into that because I've always said that would be a negative if lots of people like watched it but only got an hour in and were like, yeah, not because I still think them counting a watch for 5 minutes is fraudulent as fuck. Like 5 minutes counts as a watch. You kidding me? No. Like, and I guess it counts because technically for us, like you could download one of our podcasts and never listen to it, but it counts as a download for us. But the difference is for us is when you hear our ads, the way we get paid is the longer you listen into it, that's how you get paid. So if you've listened to that ad, even if you skip over it, still shows that you pass that ad, you may have listened to it. So we get the money. Where if you never listen to it, that's the thing. We get like a little bit for the download. So that's interesting. I'll have to, if you have that link, pop it in the group chat.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously this is only one news source, but 36% of the 36% of the 1.8 million US households that tuned in actually made it to the end, meaning over 60% of viewers didn't finish.
Yeah, that's not the greatest stat because you could have a lot. Because to me, that's like if that's true, and that's the thing. That's why I love that the box office coming back. And one thing I hate about streaming is because we don't know all these people. Like what the people that talked about, like, oh, it was downloaded this amount of times, but then same thing with this stat. They're all third party websites that are trying their best to get analytics. They don't actually know 100%. I'm not saying they're wrong, but that's the thing is like, it's hard to gauge because I would see that because like, that'd be like if you had 1 million people show up to a restaurant, but only 36 said they'd come back and see it, come back and eat again, right? So that's what I would equate that to. So if that was a true stat, I could see why they'd be like, yeah, lots of people gave it a shot, but they didn't really come back for it. Then I would see why you would invest more into that, because you're going to invest money into things that people are watching a lot of, you know? Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm going to give that a read. Anything else? Taylor has his finger up.
So maybe they didn't want to put out the numbers officially because they didn't want to insult Joss Whedon.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's it. They're really worried about Joss Whedon. They let him go. I don't think they're worried about him.
Don't know why that linked to
Porn?
that.
What is this, Jessica? Why? Lola Bunny porn. What's going on?
Yeah, don't click that first link, guys.
Yeah,
click
just
that
her
first link.
scissoring some people. Yeah.
There you go. That's the one I meant.
Oh, there you go. Samba TV. I'll have to find out who did. Yeah, there you go. That's the non-Lola Bunny one. So
36% of
Don't
viewers
shame me.
finished, and then 60% didn't. So what's the 4% in between? That's what I want to know. 4% didn't watch the movie.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe watch the first half of
6
it.
minutes. I watched yeah, first half.
Yeah, that is interesting. When did this come out too? I was trying to see. There's
the
April
one that's
1st.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
so no.
36% was 2 days ago, and the 60% was 9 hours ago. So
Okay, that's interesting. That's good to know. I'll have to drop that in GUA and see if they come after me with pitchforks. You know, they're big DC guys, but
They're all DC over there.
not all. Brent's in there, and Brent's, great host Marvel Alliance, and Tony's in there too. There's some people that are kind of on our.
I feel like I haven't met everyone in there.
You haven't. One day.
this other site says that Justice League drove HBO Max to the biggest increase in subscribers among streaming services.
Yeah, I saw that one. So I've seen all the positive ones, probably because my timeline has a lot of positive DC people on. So that's what's interesting. Like, what do you do if it got your app a bunch of downloads, but then the people didn't finish it? I don't know. That's a weird. Maybe that's why they are in this situation where they don't know. Like, is this a success for us or is this not a success? Because I don't know. It's interesting.
Well, and then there was that it did rank behind Wonder Woman as well for the number of watchers.
I'm excited to see what Kong does and Godzilla, to see how much traction that drove up, because I know it got the app to number 1 on iTunes stores, which was the first time to do ever since it launched. So yeah, DC's in shambles. They're canceling movies. Justice League has a bunch of messy stats. We are the GeekVerse podcast. We will be back next week with a whole bunch of slew of content that we've recorded, and if anything big news drop, then maybe we'll get another newscast. But until then, it'll not be boring.
Goodbye.